It utterly transcends the world. It is arisen from supramundane roots of virtue. It is utterly pure and has the character of masterful awareness. It is the abode of the Tathagatas. Page 34, 34. It has the Sangha of uncountable bodhisattvas, innumerable gods, nagas, yakshas, gandharvas, demigods, garudas, kinaras, great serpents, humans, and non-human beings move about within it. It is approached to the joy and great bliss of the taste of the Dharma. It is a place where all benefit for all beings is perfectly accomplished. It is free from any harm by any stain of the kleshas. All maras have been vanquished there. It has the array of the Tathagatas, features superior to all others. It is emancipation through great recollection, intelligence, and realization. It is the mount on which the great Shumata and Vipassana ride. It is entered by the gates of liberation, emptiness, absence of attributes, and absence of wishes. This great palace's foundation is a great king of jeweled lotuses, adorned by boundless qualities. In its center are thrones composed of the various jewels of gods, nagas, humans, and others. Atop the thrones are mats made of priceless divine and human fabrics. On those have been placed various resplendent, pure stainless lotus seats. So we're on page 35, page 35, halfway down. Above those thrones fall such things as reins of parasols, canopies, banners, and bunting made of various jewels and colourful divine and human fabrics, as well as mandarava flowers of the gods, as well as canopies, parasols, banners, and bunting are beautifully draped. The palace walls are beautified by nets and strings of jewels, silk, flowers, and by banners, bunting, and so forth. Page 36, page 36. On the ground are scattered flowers of gods and humans, bountiful oceans of clouds of excellent, diverse, inconceivable, inexhaustible offerings, like those described in the Sutra of Three Sections and the aspiration for excellent conduct, including offering water, flowers, incense, lamps, scented water, food, and music, utterly fill the reaches of space. So, so page 36, 36, halfway down the page. Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, completely perfect Buddha. Shakyamuni, all Buddhas of the 10 directions, and all Sanghas of Bodhisattvas and Shravakas. I invite you in order to purify the stains, the wrongdoing, and downfalls of myself and all beings, and in order to increase our accumulation of merit. Page 37, page 37. I implore your great compassion. Now is the time. I pray that you consider me. O Siddhartha, I pray that you come here. O Deva of Devas, O leader, O bringer of joy, happiness and supreme joy, O renowned and surpassable healer, O you with all-seeing eyes, O equal of the unequaled, you who have peerless qualities and splendor, you who have a body perfectly adorned by the excellent marks and signs. I pray that you come here. So page 3737, at the bottom of the page, for each and every being, a protector. You vanquished the ferocious hordes of Mara. You know all things just as they are, Bhagawan. I pray you come here with your retinue. Bhagawan, who for many countless eons trained in compassion out of love for beings. page 38, page 38. Now is the time to fulfill your vast aspirations. By benefiting beings as you wished. I pray that out of the spontaneous palace of Dharmadhatu, you and your pure retinue will come. Displaying miracles and blessings. To liberate infinite sentient beings. Foremost master of dharmas. With a complexion like purest gold. More radiant than even the sun. I invite you with fervor. Peaceful and greatly compassionate. Subdued, abiding in meditation. Unattached to dharmas. with unobstructed, pristine wisdom. With utterly invincible power. Come here. Come here, peaceful and pure. Shakyamuni, great omniscient being. Your form embodies great goodness. I pray that you come to this place. Page 39. Halfway down, page 39. Out of kindness toward me and all beings, through your miraculous power, I pray, Bhagawan, that you remain. Whenever I present offerings, the Bhagawan is welcome here. So page 39, bottom of page 39. We have such merits and good fortune. We ask that you remain right here in order to accept our offerings. Page 40. Within this sweetly fragrant house for bathing, where the bright and lustrous floors are paved with crystal, alluring pillars are aglow with jewels. And glistening pearls are draped in canopies. Just as all the gods offered evolution to the Buddha when he was born. In the same way, I offer ablution with the pure water of the gods. Although the bodies, speech, and minds of the Buddhas have no afflictions, to purify the obscurations of body, speech, and mind of beings, I offer this ablution to the bodies, speech, or minds of the Buddhas. May the obscurations of body, speech, or mind of all beings be purified. I bathe the Sugatas and Bodhisattvas from precious vases that have been filled, full of water, imbued with many fragrances, accompanied by song and instruments. So page 41, with cloths that are beyond compare and clean, infused with a fine scent, I dry their bodies. And then I offer them the finest robes, well dyed and most delightfully perfumed. I drape Samantabhadra, Lokeshvara, Manjushri, and the other noble beings with fabrics that are delicate and soft, and hundreds of the finest ornaments. Page 42, like polishing the purest refined gold. I apply the finest scents, whose fragrances waft everywhere throughout the billion worlds, to the radiant bodies of all Sugatas. So I have in my notes, they may go to page 471. So maybe just get that page ready just in case. But it should follow that, but we'll just see what happens, you know? So either page 43 or 471. So page 43, 4.3, praises from the Sutra of Ornamental Appearances. You have no color, signs, or shape. You are without root or location. When ceasing, you do not rise. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Not abiding, you are beyond location. You are beyond acceptance and rejection. You are fully liberated from the 6 ayatanas. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. You do not abide in any dharmas. You have abandoned the real and unreal. You have achieved the equality of perceptions. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. You are fully liberated from the 3 realms. You comprehend space like equality. Page 44. You are unstained by desires. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. You will always remain in meditation throughout all actions, such as walking, sitting, and sleeping. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. In equality you come, in equality you go. You abide in equality. Your equanimity is undisturbed. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. You abide in equality. You rest equally in all dharmas. You have entered the absence of attributes. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Not abiding, you are without concepts. Having developed wisdom, you rest evenly. You have achieved mastery of dharmas. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. You see at every moment the languages of all beings, their forms and their doings. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Page 45. You are liberated from name and form. All causes and skandhas have ceased. You have entered the absence of appearances. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. You are without attributes. You have abandoned even their appearance. You have entered their absence. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Your genuine thought is free from misapprehensions. Your mind does not abide in conceptuality. You are without mental engagement. You do not think. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Like space, you are beyond location. You are without impediment or elaboration. You have a mind equal to space. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Space is without center or end. The nature of Buddhas is like that. Page 46. You have transcended the 3 times. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. The characteristics of space is Buddha. Space is without characteristics. You are liberated from cause and results. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. You have neither self-fixation nor words. You are beyond apprehension like the moon in water. You do not abide in any dharmas. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. You do not abide in the skandhas, ayatanas, or dhatus. You are liberated from error. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. You are liberated from the 2 extremes. You have eradicated the view of a self. You have achieved the equality of the Dharma Dhatu. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Page 47. You are liberated from all forms. You have abandoned all that is not Dharma. You have neither taking nor giving. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. You have passed far beyond even Mara's name. You comprehend the realization of all dharmas. You have become free from obscurations. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Those who know the meaning do not speak of existence. They also do not speak of non-existence. They do not reply as there are no words. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Without relying on duality, you plant everywhere the victory banner of the vehicles. You are liberated from duality and non-duality. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. You defeated the defects of the mind and the 4 sicknesses of the body. You are inconceivable and incomparable. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Page 48. You have entered the spontaneously present. You have abandoned all that is wrong. Your conduct is always led by wisdom. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Your wisdom is tranquil and undefiled. You are not the elements, and yet you embody them. You are without location or thought. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Your mind, which is without concepts, fully knows the mind of all beings. You do not have the perception of self and other. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. The minds of all beings are befuddled by concepts and their objects. You have become unobscured. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Concepts and minds do not exist in nature. Page 49, page 49. You have achieved inconceivable equality. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Your wisdom, which has no location, sees all realms, and in the same way the actions of all beings. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Buddhas never ever see the mind or any dharmas. You know with omniscience, all dharmas. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. All dharmas are like illusions. Illusion itself is non-existent. You are liberated from illusory dharmas. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Although Buddhas act in the world, they do not rely upon the mundane. You do not have mundane thoughts. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Because they are empty, your deeds occur within emptiness. You are empty, as is the arena of your deeds. Page 50, page 50. You are the empty, pointing out emptiness. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. With illusory samadhi, you emanate great magical illusions. You have entered non-differentiation. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Neither many nor one. You are neither far nor near. You are beyond raising and placing. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Through the Vajra-like samadhi, in one instant you achieved Buddhahood. You rest in unreality. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. You are guide, are at all times moving. You have realized nirvana. You have diverse means. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Because you know means for guiding beings, gradually you have become skilled. Page 51, page 51. You therefore achieved unwavering nirvana. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Without attributes, you are spontaneously present. Without elaborations, you are flawless. Without appearances, you are without mind. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. Without thoughts, you are faultless, because you correctly know your own nature. Knowing all, you are omniscient. I prostrate to you who rely on nothing. I prostrate to you who have crossed the river of the 10 strengths. I prostrate to the fearless one who bestows fearlessness. I prostrate to you, the guide of all beings, who has comprehended the unshared dharmas. I prostrate to you, who have cut through all the fetters and bonds. Page 52, page 52. I prostrate to you, who have crossed over and abide in the valley. I prostrate to you, the guide of weary beings. I prostrate to you, who have entered samsara, but do not abide within it. You abide among all beings, for your mind is utterly detached. Just as a lotus is unstained by Maya, Buddha Shakyamuni, you rest in utter emptiness. You have destroyed all attributes. There is nothing to which you aspire. Teacher, your state is unsurpassable satisfaction. Page 53, page 53. I prostrate to you who have crossed the rivers non-conceptually. The power of the Buddha is inconceivable. I prostrate to the non-abiding equality of space. I prostrate to you who have the best of all attributes. I prostrate to you who are like a glorious mountain. So page 62, page 62, praises from the ornament of the sutras. I prostrate to you who have affection for beings, who intend that they encounter happiness and avoid suffering, who intend that they never be without joy, who intend the benefit and happiness of all. You, Shakyamuni, are definitely liberated from all obscurations. You overwhelm all worlds. Your wisdom pervades all objects of knowledge. I prostrate to you whose mind is liberated. Tame all the kleshas of all sentient beings. You destroy kleshas that are yet are kind. to those with glaciers. I prostrate to you, spontaneously present. You are without attachment or impediment, and always in meditation. Page 63, 63. I prostrate to you who answer all questions. I prostrate to you who teach well, whose intellect is always unimpeded, regarding what is to be taught, words and meaning and the means of teaching, speech and wisdom. Coming among us, you know our conduct. I prostrate to you who clearly teach us in our own languages what has been, what will be, and emancipation. Any being who sees you, knows you to be a holy being, I prostrate to you. The mere sight of whom causes great awe. I prostrate to you who have mastery over taking birth, remaining, and letting go, and over emanation, transformation, samadhi, and pristine wisdom. I prostrate to you who conquer the maras that deceive beings, about means, refuge, purity, and the Mahayana emancipation. Page 64, page 64. I prostrate to you who, by demonstrating the benefit of yourself and others through pristine wisdom, relinquishment, emancipation, and overcoming of impediments, are unrivaled by the Tatikas. You are beyond observance and free from forgetfulness. In assemblies, you teach at ease. You have relinquished the two aspects of affliction. I prostrate to you who gather assemblies. Omniscient one, whether you are moving or remain still, you are never other than omniscient. I prostrate to you who have the authentic meaning. In benefiting beings, you are never untimely. Your deeds are always meaningful. I prostrate to you who are never forgetful. Page 65, 65. You regard every world during the 6 periods of each day and night. You have great compassion. I prostrate to you whose intention is to bring benefit. I prostrate to you in your conduct, realization, pristine wisdom, and activity. Are superior to all, Shravakas and Pracheka Buddhas. You attained the all-encompassing great awakening of the Trikaya. I prostrate to you who always resolve the doubts of all beings. I prostrate to you who have no avarice, no wrongdoing, no defilements, and no indolence. You who never waver, you who are without complexity toward all dharmas. So page 66, prostration to the 100 lives, page 66. I prostrate to the giver, to the tigress, Shibikosala, the 2 merchants, the rabbits, Agastya, the giver of flesh, Vishvantara, and the offerer, Indra, the Brahmin, Unmadhyanti, Suparaga, the fish, the quail, the jug, the rich man's son, the austere one, and the merchant, awakening, the king of swans, Mahabodhi, the monkey, the Sharaba, the Ruru, the monkey king, Kshantivadi, Brahma, the elephant. These 10, Chandra, the renunciate in the iron building, Drishta Pratijana, the water buffalo, the woodpecker, the captain, Suvarana, Kunda, the outcast, and Yashaprabha. These 10, the householder, lamplight, the rabbit, Samjina Payati, the 2 boys, Daritri, Sukamdata, pleasant light, Padma, Lokananda. These 10, Brahmadatta, the seeker of Dharma, Jnanavati, Jalavahan, Adarshamukha, Gushwali Warta, Kumara, the Naga King, the beaver, and the Rishi. These 10, the 2 compassionate ones, Jyoti, Indra, the Brahmin, the dancing girl, Mandata, the Naga King, the lion, and the boy, Mega. These 10, Vishvara, the Brahmin, the gambler, Vishala, the elephant, Udayana, Danika, Somanandi, Akasha, and Shisena. These 10, Mahasatma, Chandraprabha, Shivi, the Brahmin, Sadaparibhuta, the lion, the captain, Sudana, Sushadevi, and Punyabala, Suprabha, the Rishi, Ketumati, Shayamati, Sujramala, the camel, Nemi, Upala, And the two bodhisattvas, these 10, I prostrate to you, the Buddha who perfected the qualities of the 12 deeds, who left Tushita, entered the womb, were born, mastered the crafts, deported, renounced the world, engaged in the austerities, approached the Bodhi tree, conquered the forces of Mara, attained awakening, turned the wheels of Dharma, and passed into Nirvana. May I, like you, perfect the qualities of these deeds and benefit for the benefit of others. Page 69. The praise of the 12 deeds. Page 69. Skilled in means from compassion, you took birth as a Shakyan. You vanquished Mara's forces while others could not. Your body resplendent as a gold Mount Muru. O King of the Shakyas, I prostrate to you. It's you who at first roused the mind of enlightenment, then perfected the accumulations of merit. And wisdom. So vast are your deeds in this age. I praise you who are the protector of wanderers. So page 69, page 69. You benefited gods, and then knowing it was time to tame humans, you came down from heaven as an elephant. You looked at her caste and then entered the womb of the queen Mahamaya. I prostrate to this deed. When 10 months had passed, you, son of the Shakyas, were born in the auspicious grove of Lumbini. Page 70, page 70. Both Brahma and Indra bowed to you with your great marks of the family of enlightenment. I prostrate to this deed. A youth with great strength, a lion among men. You showed your great prowess at Anga Magadha. You vanquished all people inflated with arrogance. You are without rival. I prostrate to this deed. In order to act in accord with the ways of the world and avert any censure. You took a retinue of queens, thus through means that were skillful. You governed your kingdom. I prostrate to this deed. You saw the affairs of samsara are pointless and left your household. Off in the sky. Near the stupa of great purity, you by yourself went forth to ordain. I prostrate to this deed. With the thought to accomplish enlightenment through effort. For 6 years, you practiced austerities on the banks of the Naranjana. While perfecting your diligence, you gained the supreme dhyana. I prostrate to this deed. Page 71, page 71. As your efforts from beginningless time had a purpose, in Magadha, under the tree of enlightenment, Unmoving, you sat, and manifestly awakened to perfect enlightenment. I prostrate to this deed. You soon, with compassion, regarded all wanderers. And in Varanasi and other great places, you turn the wheel of Dharma, thus bringing your disciples into the three vehicles. I prostrate to this deed. To vanquish the evil objections of others. In the land of Varanasi, you subdued the demons. The six Tatika teachers, Devadatta, and others. The sage triumphed in battle. I prostrate to this deed. Your qualities unparalleled in the three realms. In Shravasti, you displayed wondrous miracles. All gods and humans make you great offerings. You spread the teachings. I prostrate to this deed. In order to encourage all those who are lazy to the Dharma, on Kushinagara's good, clean grounds, you departed the deathless, fragile-like body and passed to Nirvana. I prostrate to this deed. Page 72, page 72. Because in reality, there is no destruction. And so the beings of the future gain merit. In that very place, you left many relics. The 8 parts of your remains, I prostrate to this deed. So page 73, page 73, all sorts of flowers, canopies of flowers, flower arrangements, radiant with light, diverse flowers spread everywhere. I offer to those great beings, the Buddhas, all sorts of incense, canopies of incense, incense arrangements, radiant with light. Oh, so page 73, offerings from the Dharani of the lamp of the three jewels. Diverse incense spread everywhere. I offer to those great beings, the Buddhas. All sorts of fragrance, canopies of fragrance. Fragrance, arrangements radiant with light. Diverse fragrances spread everywhere. I offer to those great beings, the Buddhas. All sorts of garlands, canopies of garlands, garland arrangements, radiant with light. Page 74, Page 74. Diverse garlands spread everywhere. I offer to those great beings, the Buddhas. All sorts of powders, canopies of powder, powder arrangements radiant with light. Diverse powders spread everywhere. I offer to those great beings, the Buddhas. All sorts of fabrics, canopies of fabrics, fabric arrangements radiant with light. Diverse fabrics spread everywhere. I offer to those great beings, the Buddhas. All sorts of parasols, canopies of parasols, parasol arrangements radiant with light. Diverse parasols spread everywhere. I offer to those great beings, the Buddhas. All sorts of jewels, canopies of jewels, jewel arrangements radiant with light. Diverse jewels spread everywhere. I offer to those great beings, the Buddhas. All sorts of lotuses, canopies of lotuses, lotus arrangements radiant with light. Page 75, page 75. Diverse lotuses spread everywhere. I offer to those great beings, the Buddhas. All sorts of ornaments, canopies of ornaments, ornamental arrangements radiant with light. Diverse ornaments spread everywhere. I offer to those great beings, the Buddhas. Supreme victory banners emitting bright light rays. Those banners, white, yellow, red, blue, and of diverse colors and array. With many of these, I decorate the Buddha's realms. Parasols decorated by diverse nets of jewels, well draped with ribbons, banners, and nets of little bells resounding with the Buddha's speech. I hold these over the Tathagata's heads. From the palms of my hands, I present inconceivable offerings. Just as I would offer them to a single Buddha, I offer them in the same way to all Buddhas without exception. Such is the miraculous display of the Buddha's samadhi. So page 76, page 76, 76. I make fine offerings to the Tathagatas, to the true Dharma, the immaculate jewel, and to the oceans of qualities, bodhisattvas, as many fruits and flowers as there are, whatever kinds of medicine exist, however many jewels there are in the world, all clean and pleasant waters there may be, mountains of jewels, and likewise forest grows in solitary and delightful places, bushes adorned with ornamental flowers, and trees whose branches bow with splendid fruit, incense and perfumes, as from divine worlds, and so forth, wish-fulfilling trees, jewel trees, and crops that grow without need to be plowed, all ornaments that are fit to be offered, and lakes and pools bedecked with lotuses, where lovely swans have most delightful calls, everything that's unknowing extended to the edges of the realms of infinite space. I imagine taking these and offer them well to the sages, greatest of beings and their offspring, sublime and greatly compassionate recipients. Think of me lovingly. Accept these from me. I am bereft of merit, destitute, and have no other wealth that I could offer. May the protectors who think of others, may the protectors who think of others' weal accept these through their power for my sake. So page 77, halfway down, 77. Forevermore I offer all my bodies to the victorious ones and to their offspring. O sublime beings, accept me entirely, and I will be your dedicated servant. Because you have accepted me completely, not fearing existence, I will benefit beings. I will offer great beings I venerate. I offer the great beings I venerate, the lords of sages, every fragrant flower, mandarava, lotus, jasmine, and so forth. Page 78, 78. And pleasing garlands strung attractively. I also offer billowing clouds of incense, filled with the sweetest, most enchanting scents, and royal feasts I offer them as well, replete with an assortment of food and drink. Further, I make an offering of jeweled lamps arranged in rows on golden lotuses. I scatter the petals of attractive flowers on a paved floor anointed with perfume. I offer those who are compassionate numberless palaces adorning the sky, beautifully glowing with strings of pearls and jewels, and echoing with melodious songs of praise. I always offer to the lords of sages beauteous jeweled parasols with golden staves, fine shaped, upright, and pleasing to the eye, their rims festooned with winsome ornaments. Page 79, 79. And furthermore, may there extend clouds of attractive offerings, with lovely tunes and instruments that soothe all beings' sufferings. May the rains of gems and flowers and more continuously shower down on all the jewels of the true Dharma, as well as on stupas and likenesses. As Manjugosa and the others make offerings to the victorious ones, I offer to the Tathagatas, the protectors, and their offspring. So page 81, the sutra in 3 sections. Page 81, I say your name, take refuge in the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. I prostrate to the Tathagata Arhat, completely perfect Buddha, Shakyamuni. I prostrate to conquers with Vajragarbha. I prostrate to precious radiant light. I prostrate to king of Naga rulers. I prostrate to Virasena. I prostrate to glorious joy. I prostrate to precious fire. I prostrate to precious moonlight. I prostrate to meaningful to see. I prostrate to precious moon. I prostrate to Vimala. I prostrate to Viryadatta. I prostrate to Brahma. I prostrate to Brahmadatta. Page 82, page 82. I prostrate to Waterdeva. I prostrate to Deva of Waterdevas. I prostrate to glorious goodness. I prostrate to glorious sandalwood. I prostrate to boundless splendor. I prostrate to glorious light. I prostrate to glorious Ashoka. I prostrate to Narayana. I prostrate to glorious flower. I prostrate to the Tathagata manifest wisdom display of Brahma's light rays. I prostrate to the Tathagata manifest wisdom display of lotus light rays. I prostrate to glorious wealth. I prostrate to glorious recollection. I prostrate to utterly renowned glorious name. I prostrate to King of the peak of the victory banner of powers. I prostrate to glorious total overcomer. I prostrate to utterly victorious over warfare. I prostrate to goes by overcoming. I prostrate to glorious array of ubiquitous light. I prostrate to precious lotus who overcomes. I prostrate to the Tathagata Arhat, completely perfect Buddha, King, among Lord of Mountains, who abides on a precious lotus. Page 83, page 83. You and all the Tathagata Arhat, completely perfect Buddhas who abide in the world realms in the 10 directions, as many as you may be, all you Bhagawan Buddhas, I pray that you consider me. I admit all the wrongdoing I have committed in this birth, in other births, and throughout my beginningless births while circling in samsara. Wrongdoing committed by me, as well as the encouragement of wrongdoing and rejoicing in wrongdoing, including theft of wealth of stupas, theft of the wealth of sanghas, or of the wealth of the sanghas in the 4 directions, the encouragement of such theft and rejoicing in such theft, as well as the commission of the 5 worst actions, the encouragement of such actions and rejoicing in such actions, as well as entrance into the full acceptance of the path of the 10 unvirtuous actions, the encouragement of such entrance and rejoicing in such entrance. Also, whatever actions will, through their obscuration, cause migration to hell, migration to birth as an animal, migration to the realms of hungry ghosts, birth in a borderland, birth as a barbarian, birth among long-lived gods with incomplete faculties and holding of wrong views, or birth in a place to which no Buddha will come. Page 84, halfway down, page 84. In the presence of the Bhagawan Buddhas who have pristine wisdom, you have eyes who are witnesses, who are impeccable, who are wise, who see. I admit all obscuring actions. I reveal them, I confess them, I do not conceal them. I vow to abstain from them henceforth. All you Bhagawan Buddhas, I pray that you consider me. I rejoice in all the roots of virtue I have ever generated, including those generated in this birth, those generated in other births, and those generated throughout my beginningless births, while circling in samsara, including all acts of generosity, even the gift of one mouthful of food to a being born as an animal. Page 85, page 85. All roots of virtue coming from my observance of morality. All roots of virtue coming from my abiding in the brahmacharya. All roots of virtue coming from my ripening of beings. All roots of virtue coming from my bodhicitta. And all roots of virtue coming from unsurpassable pristine wisdom. I collect all these roots of virtue and combining them into one, I utterly dedicate them to what is unexcelled, unsurpassable, and supreme. I utterly dedicate them to unsurpassable, perfect, completely awakening. I utterly dedicate them, just as all Bhagawan Buddhas of the past utterly dedicated roots of virtue, just as all Bhagawan Buddhas of the future will utterly dedicate them, and just as all Bhagawan Buddhas of the present are utterly dedicating them. I confess all wrongdoing. I rejoice in all merits. Pray to all Buddhas. May I achieve unsurpassable, supreme, pristine wisdom. With joined palms, I wholly take refuge in all the Buddhas. the best of humanity who abide in the present, who abided in the past, and who are yet to come. All those whose acclaimed qualities are like boundless oceans. Page 87, The Confession from the Light of Gold Sutra. Page 87, all Buddhas, holiest of all humans, whose minds have kindness and compassion, who abide in the worlds of the 10 directions, I pray that you consider me. Having entered your presence, you who have the 10 strengths, I confess all the unbearable wrongdoing I have done up to now. Whatever wrongdoing I have done, through not trusting my parents, through not trusting Buddhas, and through not trusting virtuous actions, whatever wrongdoing I have done, through the arrogance of the vanity of wealth, the vanity of noble family and property, or the arrogance of the vanity of youth. Page 88, page 88. Whatever wrongdoing I have done, whatever I have done that is wrong, or thought that was wrong, or said, through not seeing it as wrong, the actions of a childish mind, of a mind darkened by ignorance, a mind influenced by unvirtuous companions, a mind agitated by kleshas, whatever wrongdoing I have done out of a delight in play, out of misery, out of sickness, or out of discontent with my wealth, whatever wrongdoing I have done through the influence of ignoble beings, through jealousy, greed, pretense, concealment, or poverty, whatever wrongdoing I have done at times of desperation and ruin, when my desires were impeded, or because I lacked wealth. Page 89, page 89. Whatever wrongdoing I have done under the power of an unstable mind, under the power of desire or anger, or when threatened by hunger and thirst, whatever wrongdoing I have done for the sake of food and drink, for the sake of sex, possessions or clothing, through the anguish of various kleshas, whatever wrongdoing of the 3 types, misdeeds of body, speech, or mind, I have done and accumulated. I confess all of this, whatever disrespects I have shown, Buddhas, the Dharma, or Shravakas, I confess all of this. Whatever disrespect I have shown Prateka Buddhas or Bodhisattvas, I confess all of this. Page 90, page 90. Whatever disrespect I have shown teachers of genuine Dharma or Dharma itself, I confess all of this. Rejection of genuine Dharma and the disrespect of my parents. Through my continual ignorance, I confess all of this. My obscurations by foolishness, childishness, desire and anger, bewilderment, pride, and arrogance, I confess all of this. So page 92. Page 92. I will present offerings to those with the 10 strengths in all the worlds in the 10 directions. I will rescue all the beings in the 10 directions from all their suffering. I will establish all innumerable beings on the 10 levels. Having abided on the 10 levels, may they become Tathagatas until I have the ability to free them all from the ocean of suffering. I will engage in action for the sake of each one of them for a million kalpas. I will teach this light of gold sutra, which purifies all karma and presents the profound to all those beings. Someone who has, for 1,000 kalpas, done an unthinkable wrong will purify all of it through one full confession. Page 93, 93. As I have done in this confession through the virtue of the light of gold sutra that quickly and perfectly exhausts karmic obscurations, I will abide on the 10 levels, the 10 supreme sources of the precious. I will manifest the Buddha's qualities. I will liberate beings from the ocean of samsara. The qualities of the oceans of Buddhas are deep and vast. In omniscience, I will perfect all those inconceivable qualities through hundreds of thousands of samadhis, inconceivable dharani. The powers, the strengths, and the branches of awakening. I will accomplish the sublime 10 strengths. I pray that understanding me, Buddhas, you regard me. Page 94, page 94. I pray that with compassion you accept my faults. My mind is miserable, desperate, and oppressed by fear at the thought of all the wrongdoing I have done up to now throughout 100 kalpas. I am terrified by wrongdoing. My mind is always depressed. I am not pleased by what I have done. All Buddhas are compassionate. You remove dangers for all beings. I pray that you accept my faults. Free me from fear, Tathagatas, dispel the stains of my karma and kleshas. Buddhas, I pray that you wash me with the water of your compassion. I confess all wrongdoing. Page 95, page 95. Whatever I have done in the past and my wrongdoing of the present, I confess all of it. I vow not to repeat henceforth all the faulty actions I have done. Whatever I have done that is wrong, I will not conceal it. The 3 actions of body, the 4 of speech, and the 3 of mind, I confess all of them. Done with my body, said with my speech, or thought in my mind. The 10 actions, I confess them all. Having abandoned the 10 unvirtuous actions, I will rely upon the 10 virtuous actions. I will abide on the 10 levels. I will accomplish the 10 strengths. Having entered the presence of the Buddhas, I confess all the unvirtuous actions, the causes of undesired results that I have done. Page 96, page 96. And I rejoice in all that is the merit of all the victors and the Buddha's children. Pracheka Buddhas, learners and non-learners, of all the wanderers of the 10 directions. I rejoice in all the virtuous actions done by anyone. In this Jambu Dvipa or in other realms. Page 97, 97. I request all those guardians who have awakened to Buddhahood and found detachment, the lamps of the worlds of the 10 directions to turn the wheel that cannot be surpassed. With my palms joined, I supplicate all those who wish to demonstrate nirvana to stay as many eons as atoms in the realms to aid and bring well-being to all wanderers. Okay, page 98, the dedication to the Vajra Victory Banner. Page 98. When engaging in bodhisattva conduct, whatever forms I see, whether pleasant or unpleasant, and whatever sounds, smells, tastes, tactile sensations, and dharmas I encounter, whether pleasant, unpleasant, or flawless, whenever I experience radiant, great joy, whenever I give rise to joy or accomplish joy, or give rise to faith or experience, delight or abide in supreme delight, or feel pleased or dispel unhappiness, whenever virtue arises in my mind, or my mind becomes workable, or my thinking becomes flexible, or I experience the joy of utterly satisfied faculties, I entirely dedicated to all Buddhas in this way. Through this total dedication, may all those Bhagawan Buddhas have the inconceivable joy of Buddhahood, far superior to this. Page 99, 99. May they be well established in the peerless joy of the samadhis of Buddhas. May they be stable in the vast, boundless joy of Buddhas. May they have the immeasurable joy of the liberation of Buddhas. May they be well established in the boundless joy of the Buddha's miracles. May they be utterly well established in the inconceivable, dispassionate joy of Buddhahood. May they unceasingly have the supreme joy of Buddhas that is difficult to achieve. May they be utterly joyous with the immeasurable joy of the powers of Buddhas. May they be joyous with the unchanging, unborn joy of the pacification of all sensations. May they be joyous beyond disturbance through the utter absence of dualism in their constant meditation while abiding in the dispassionate joy of the Tathagatas. After this, Bodhisattva has entirely dedicated those roots of virtue to the Tathagatas. I will entirely dedicate them to all Bodhisattvas. Page 100, page 100. I entirely dedicate them so that the wishes of those whose wishes are unfulfilled may be fulfilled, so that the intention of those whose benevolence of intention is insufficiently pure for the accomplishment of omniscience may become entirely pure, so that those who have not perfected the transcendences perfect them, so that the armor of their Vajralite bodhicitta be irreversible until omniscience, so that their great aspirations for the roots of virtue, gates of awakening, equally directed at all beings, be utterly fulfilled, so that they realize all the states of bodhisattvas, so that they gain all the sharp clairvoyances and faculties of bodhisattvas, and so that all the roots of virtue of bodhisattvas lead to omniscience. After those roots of virtue have been entirely dedicated to bodhisattvas in that way, I will entirely dedicate them to all those who practice the Buddha Dharma, to all Shravakas, to all Pracheka Buddhas. In this way, I entirely dedicate the roots of virtue of all beings who have so much as heard the word of Buddha or heard the word of Dharma for the duration of a finger snap, or who have served the Arya Sangha for that length of time to unsurpassable, authentic, perfect awakening. Page 101, 101. I entirely dedicate them so that their recollection of the Buddha may be perfect. I entirely dedicate them so that those beings train in the recollection of the Dharma. I entirely dedicate them so that they may be respectful to the Arya Sangha. I entirely dedicate them so that they may always see Buddhas. I entirely dedicate them so that their minds may become pure. I entirely dedicate them so that they may realize the qualities of the Buddhas. I entirely dedicate them so that they may accomplish immeasurable qualities. I entirely dedicate them so that they may purify the virtue of all clairvoyances. I entirely dedicate them so that ambivalence towards Dharma may be averted. Page 102, page 102. Just as I have entirely dedicated roots of virtue to all those who have entered the Buddha Dharma, to all Shravakas and to all Pracheka Buddhas, in the same way, the Bodhisattva will entirely dedicate all roots of virtue to all beings. I entirely dedicate them so that all beings may be turned away from the path of hell. I entirely dedicate them so that birth as an animal may be ended. I entirely dedicate them so that the world of Yama may be completely avoided. I entirely dedicate them so that all birth as beings in lower states, without exception, may be utterly ended. I entirely dedicate them so that all beings develop enthusiasm for unpassable awakening. I entirely dedicate them so that all beings acquire the benevolence of the Omniscient One. I entirely dedicate them so that they never abandon any of the Buddha Dharmas. I entirely dedicate them so that they accomplish the utter joy of omniscience. I entirely dedicate them so that all beings may be completely pure. Page 103, 103. I entirely dedicate them so that all beings may realize boundless, pristine wisdom. I entirely dedicate them so that they may focus on the achievements of the states of a bodhisattva and omniscience. I entirely dedicate them so that they may desire the benefit and happiness of all beings. I entirely dedicate them so that they may have the wish to utterly protect all beings. I entirely dedicate them so that they may always be diligent in roots of virtue. I entirely dedicate them so that they may quash vanity and carelessness. I entirely dedicate them so that they turn their back on all kleshas. I entirely dedicate them so that they have the intention to emulate all bodhisattvas. I entirely dedicate them so that they not sicken of the path to omniscience. I entirely dedicate them so that they may rely upon the level of pristine wisdom. I entirely dedicate them so that they may delight in the company of the wise. I entirely dedicate them so that, like bees, they may assiduously amass roots of virtue in order to protect beings. Page 104, 104. I entirely dedicate them so that they may be without craving for any composite. My clothing, food, medicine, possessions, coming and going, and physical service, my actions, such as sitting down or entering a place, the places in which I live, my calm demeanor, my good behavior of body, speech, and mind, the control of my six faculties, dressing, massaging, and washing my body, eating, chewing, tasting, bending, and straightening my limbs, glancing and looking, falling asleep, remaining awake, and all forms of service that might be done with my body. There is none of this whatsoever that is not dedicated to omniscience. I entirely dedicate the giving of even a morsel or handful of rice to either my domestic animals or other animals to the benefit of those beings and to their liberation. I entirely dedicate it to the freeing of those beings from their animal births, from that ocean of suffering, from those conditions of suffering, from those skandhas of suffering, from those sensations of suffering, from that accumulation of suffering, from that formation of suffering, from that basis of suffering, from that root of suffering, and from those places of suffering. Page 105, 105. As for those beings, I intend this for all beings. I'm accomplishing this for all beings, and keep this in mind for all beings. By entirely dedicating all roots of virtue to omniscience, I ensure that these roots of virtue will lead to it. Generating bodhicitta, I will persevere in awakening. I apply all roots of virtue to it. I turn away from the wilderness of samsara. I will accomplish the unobscured joy of Buddhahood. I will extract them from the ocean of samsara. I extend to all beings the love that is endowed with the qualities of the Buddhas. So page 106, 106. May the sound of the great drum of the light of gold pacify the suffering of the lower states, the suffering of yamas, and the suffering of poverty in the three realms of these billion worlds. May the sound of this great drum pacify all the deprivation in the world, just as Shakyamuni is fearless and pacifies fear. May beings be fearless and free from fear. Just as in samsara, the omniscient Shakyamuni has all the qualities of Anaira. May all beings become oceans of qualities with the qualities of samadhi and the branches of awakening. Through the sound of this great drum, may all beings have the melody of Brahma. Page 107, 107. May they reach the sublime awakening of Buddhas. May they turn the virtuous wheel of Dharma. May they abide for innumerable kalpas. May they teach Dharma for beings' benefit. May they conquer kleshas and dispel suffering. May they pacify desire, anger, and ignorance. May those beings who abide in lower states with bodies burnt down to the bone hear the sound of this great drum and the words, I prostrate to the Buddha. May all beings remember hundreds, thousands, and millions of their births. May they always recollect Shakyamuni. May they hear his vast teachings through the sound of this great drum. May beings always be in the company of Buddhas. May they abandon wrongdoing. May they engage in virtuous actions. Page 108, 108. May the sufferings of all beings in all worlds be pacified. May all beings with incomplete faculties or damaged limbs gain complete faculties today. May those stricken by sickness, the powerless and the weak, all those in the 10 directions who lack refuge, be quickly freed from sickness. May they acquire healthy faculties and vigor. May those threatened with death at the hands of kings, brigands, or enemies, and afflicted by hundreds of types of suffering, all beings desperate with suffering, be freed from the 100 unbearable dangers that threaten them. May all those who are beaten, bound in fetters, placed in desperate situations, agitated by thousands of glaciers, and undergoing unbearable dangers and misery, be liberated from their fetters. Page 109, 109. May the beaten be freed from being beaten. May the killed regain life. May the desperate become fearless. May all beings afflicted by hunger and thirst acquire food and drink. May the blind see various forms. May the deaf hear pleasant sounds. May the naked acquire clothing. May impoverished beings find treasure. May all beings become happy and have abundant wealth, grain, and various precious things. May no being be tormented by sensations of suffering. May all beings become pleasing to see with fine forms, beauty, and auspiciousness. May they always have many sources of happiness. Page 110, 110. May they acquire food, drink, wealth, and merit as soon as they think of them. Clay drums, hand drums, lutes, tamboras, springs, lakes, ponds, pools, golden lotuses, and opalas, with their petals, food, drink, clothing, wealth, pearls, jewelry, gold, various gems, and vedria. May they acquire all of these as soon as they think of them. May the sound of suffering be unheard in any world. May no being see any other as disagreeable. May all beings be vibrant and cast their light on one another. May whatever excellence there is in the human world arise as soon as it is thought of. May all wishes be fulfilled as soon as they are made. May the results of merit be perfectly complete. May incense, garlands, balms, fabrics, powders, and flowers fall from the trees throughout the free times. May beings gather and enjoy them. May offerings be presented throughout the 10 directions to all innumerable Tathagatas, Bodhisattvas, Shravakas, and the immaculate, infallible Dharma. May all beings abandon inferior births. May they transcend the 8 unleisured states. May they attain sublime royal leisure. May they always acquire the company of Buddhas. May they always be born in high families. May they acquire health and stores of grain. May they be well adorned for kalpas, by fame, renown, form, and color. May all women become powerful persons forever. May they be brave, strong, wise, and lucid. May all beings engage in conduct for the sake of awakening. May they practice the 6 transcendences. May we see in the 10 directions the Buddhas comfortably seated on thrones of Viduriya in front of precious trees. Page 112, 112. May we also hear them teach the Dharma through whatever merit I have accomplished within body, speech, or mind. Through those roots of virtue, I will reach supreme awakening. I will abide on the 10 levels, the 10 supreme sources of the precious. I will radiate the qualities of the Buddhas. I will free beings from the ocean of samsara. The qualities of the oceans of Buddhas are deep and vast. In omniscience, I will perfect all those inconceivable qualities. I will achieve the hundreds of thousands of samadhis, the inconceivable dharanis, the faculties, the powers, the branches of awakening, and through them, the 10 sublime strengths. Page 113, 113, the aspiration from the Ratnavali. Through the merit of doing that, and of all I have done and not done, may all beings have unsurpassable bodhicitta. May all beings have stainless, complete faculties. May they pass beyond all unleisured states. May they have freedom of conduct. May they have good livelihood. May all beings have jewels in their hands and unlimited resources of all types that will remain as long as samsara lasts. May all women become powerful persons forever. May all beings have awareness and means. Page 114, 114. May all beings have luster, fine form, and magnificence. May they be pleasing to see, healthy, strong, and long-lived. May they all become skillful, free from all suffering, immersed in the three jewels, and have the great wealth of the Buddha Dharma. May they be adorned by love, compassion, and joy, impartiality in the face of affliction, generosity, morality, patience, diligence, meditation, and wisdom. May they complete the accumulations, manifest the signs and marks, and continuously traverse the 10 inconceivable levels. May I too be adorned by those qualities and by others as well. May I be freed from all faults and have supreme love for all beings. Page 115, 115. May I fulfill all the hopes and wishes of all beings. May I always dispel the sufferings of all beings. May all the beings in all worlds who are saddened through fear become utterly fearless just by hearing my name. May anyone who sees me, thinks of me, or even hears my name become fully lucid, undisturbed, and sane. May they perfect awakening be certain. May their perfect awakening be certain. In all their lives, may they attain the 5 clairvoyances. May they, at all times and in all ways, bring benefit and happiness to all beings. May all beings in all worlds who want to engage in wrongdoing be all at once and forever prevented from harming anyone. Page 116, 116. Like earth, water, fire, and air, like medicine and like trees in the wilderness, may I be always available to all beings for them to use as they wish. May I cherish beings like life itself. May I cherish them more than myself. May their wrongdoing ripen for me. May all my virtue ripen for them. As long as any beings remain unliberated, even if I have attained unsurpassable awakening, may I remain. Yes, you want to charge this, yeah?
Yeah.
Did she say how long the break was? 30 minutes.
I did not hear that.
So
I didn't hear anything in English.
yeah, 30 minutes. So Karma was teaching at 9, so it's 8:30 now. So we have man, there'll be some things probably that are not even on here that they might do. Also, also Kempo David will be next to us as well.
Yeah, he said he's coming.
Yeah,
For this.
so I'll maybe swap seats with you because then you can just sort of read here if you want.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can pass to him because he can be a bit stressful for it. Like, or he is fine if you just, so you can stay there. All you need to do is just pass him the mic, don't you?
Uh-huh.
As long as you're comfortable where you are.
He was sitting in the middle of us last time.
He'll sit in the middle, so we'll make space. We'll make space for him.
It'll take a half hour.
Yeah.
Trying to get that cappuccino.
Best part of the day.
Okay, thank you for your help.